mentioned my salmon rub. There's a salmon rub I have. It's delicious. I was making it with the kids the other day, and I had them reading off the description, right? The recipe and the description. And I was still playing around with the measurements were and whatnot. My son, who is reading now and is awesome, was like 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm like, okay, got it. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then he goes, 2 tablespoons of black pepper. I was like, okay, 2 tablespoons of black pepper. And then he goes, 1, Daddy, what's this word? And I was like, oh, that's teaspoon. 1 teaspoon paprika. I'm like, okay. And he's like, wait, Daddy, the other word was teaspoons, not tablespoons. So I got this like bath of black pepper.
Good, at least he mentioned it. Totally. Throw everything out, start over.
I'm off by 3x. I fished some of it out, and I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be a little more spicy.
Aww. Quiet, please.
But it was so funny that he was just keying off the T words.
In 4.
Didn't know tablespoons and
3,
teaspoons. It was very cute.
2. Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense Season 3, Episode 65. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Jiddle.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, Europe cracks down. Twitter fined $140 million for breaking the Digital Services Act rules.
Can X just go away already?
More troubling changes coming to the Food and Drug Administration.
Wait a minute, is it about the food or the drugs this time?
They've abandoned both of those. Now they're working on car parts. A fentanyl vaccine is about to get its first major test.
That's great, but I need a bacon vaccine. Is anybody working on that?
China's $1 trillion trade shock. Global exports surge among U.S. dive.
Half of that surge was just in dumpling sales.
And half of those dumplings were purchased by me.
I got the other half.
Also, our big story later this week is about UC Merced's simple fix for California's energy and water crisis.
Are we finally getting rid of people? Is that the fix?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'd be in for that.
A guy put up a video the other day that came into my feed. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah.
He's abandoning California and he's huffing and puffing and going. And I'm like, oh man, one less. Thank goodness.
Yeah, you're going to love Idaho.
If you are not happy here, we'd be thrilled if you'd move away.
Have you thought about Florida?
Remember all the CEOs who like in a huff moved off to Austin?
Yeah, they all came slinking back.
They all came back, yeah.
I heard gas is really cheap in Alabama. Go for it.
It's Computer Science Education Week. Veterans find time for kids. Make an attempt to inspire K-12 students to dive into computer science.
But for the love of all things digital, no JavaScript. Anything but JavaScript, save maybe Perl. No Perl. The kids deserve better than that.
So basically, you don't want any of the kids working on anything that can run in a browser.
Yeah, I want them all just writing for old embedded systems. That's it. That's all
Fantastic.
I want them. No graphics, no mouse.
Okay.
It should be like when you become a sushi chef, you spend the first 10 years just making rice.
Actually, truthfully, I would prefer everybody wrote in WASMs for the browser. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's the coolest thing to happen in the browser in 1,000 years.
Unfortunately, most of our listeners are married and haven't had WASMs in years.
How is your week going?
Oh boy, my week. It's been an adventure.
Yeah.
I have been managing my children,
of course,
which I think is part of what being a parent entails. My wife has been out of town.
Yeah, you've been single parenting.
Which every time I do this for a couple days, I just can't complain about it because I have so many friends and know so many people that do this
all the time,
and I don't know how they do that. I baked cookies with the kids. This is actually the most fun thing. Normally my wife does all the baking and I do all of the cooking, but I got to do the baking and I was very excited to do this. I made a double batch and I called the kids in. They normally help my wife roll them in the sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah, sure.
Making snickerdoodles. And I'm not making this up. My children looked at me and said, "No, we did that with Mom. We don't need to do it with you." And I was like, "But you love doing this." They're like, "No,
just with Mom. This is our thing with Mom."
No, with Mommy. And they just left the room. They had no interest in doing it with me. It's like her thing that they do. So I just baked them all myself.
Did you have extra cinnamon in your snickerdoodles? Did you mistake teaspoons and tablespoons?
No, I didn't do that this time. I did. The recipe, I double recipe. I did call for tablespoons. It seemed like way too much cinnamon, but whatever. How do you
there is no such thing.
No, so we had a kid cookie exchange, which was super fun, where have you ever done one of these things like you bring like a big basket of cookies and then everybody shares cookies and you get a nice little array of cookies. That's the plan.
Yeah.
There was a mom there who said, she showed up and she said, "I don't know how this works. I brought 1 bottle of wine and 2 cookies." And I was like, well,
it's going to be a small exchange for you.
She thought the kids just exchanged like 1 cookie with their friend. And I was like, the good news is we have plenty of cookies. Don't worry. We're going to be just fine.
Sure.
The part that made me laugh the most is I made a double batch so we'd have extra cookies at home because my kids and I also love the snickerdoodles. My kids still took snickerdoodles that I made from the cookie exchange. I'm like, you're not doing this right. And they're like, but we really like them. I'm like, well, we have them at home. And they're like, but we really like them.
That's something
and I
new.
was like, okay, fine. Super funny. They made me laugh. The cookies was a blast. I did try to exchange the kids there.
Yeah,
but,
no, sure.
But nobody was having that. I did my best. I volunteered for a friend's nonprofit event at the El Portal Theater up in NoHo. That was super fun. They put me on bartender duty, which is a huge mistake because I just talked to everybody. And people were like, where's your tip jar? I'm like, you got to tell me a joke. It's like, no money. You got to just tell me a joke. And people would sit there and like rack their brains.
For jokes?
And like, all I know is dirty jokes. I'm like, great. That's all I hear. Let's go.
I could give you 30 right now. You do not want to go on a joke off with me.
I know how you know. Yeah. Last time you and I had a joke off, we both spent time in the West Hollywood jail.
Sure.
It was a blast. I was excited about the football outcome, but I don't want to talk about it because I know that's going to be part of your week.
What happened in football? I wasn't paying attention. Did
Saturday, I don't know. I watched a team I happened to despise. Didn't win as they were favored.
That was the interesting thing for me.
Yeah.
There are an equal number of people who hate Ohio State as there are people who were rooting for Indiana.
Oh, that is incorrect. There are way more people that hate Ohio State than like Indiana by 10x.
I mean, some of us just love the Indiana story and what has happened there.
For example,
but there are actually people who hate Ohio State and don't really care that it's Indiana. Just anybody who beats Ohio State is a hero.
The entire state of Michigan hates Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, first of all, it's Ohio. You ever been to Ohio?
Yeah, sure.
Ohio is the state you drive through to get to other states that are more interesting.
Okay.
Ohio it's the least interesting place in the entire country. I've been damn near every state. I've been to Wyoming, and it's more interesting than Ohio.
Wyoming's very interesting. What's not interesting about Wyoming is beautiful.
Save maybe Sandusky, which is where Cedar Point is. The rest of Ohio, you just want to speed through as quickly as you can, and they know this, so they just write you speeding tickets. That's really all they do.
That's their income.
If I could just airlift out Cedar Point and the Cleveland Clinic, and the rest of Ohio, we could just give back to the French or whoever settled there first.
And on their taxes, they declare the income from speeding tickets as tourism.
I mean, totally. Where they educate foreigners about the state. Yeah,
sure.
Really great. I was happy to see the Ohio teams not win. And that continued on a Sunday, too. I think the Bengals lost as well to the Bills. And that was also enjoyable.
Yes, this is what I'm going to talk about, too.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to make this a sports podcast.
Here we
I do not mean to. I will do it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
But Ohio came to Indiana. Football was played and fun was had.
Yeah.
The win ended an incredible 30-game losing streak for the Hoosiers against the Buckeyes dating back to 1988. It was the longest active losing streak between two teams in major college football at the time.
Sure.
Now Vanderbilt needs to beat Alabama.
Which they might be able to do because Alabama is not looking as great as they used to.
But for some reason, Alabama made it into the playoffs.
That's Alabama.
Inexplicably.
That's not inexplicably. It's the math.
How did this work? I mean, the people at Notre Dame were justifiably super upset.
Notre Dame's terrible. They could just all go play in the toilet bowl. I don't really care.
The victory earned Indiana its first Big Ten championship since 1967, ending a title drought of nearly 60 years. Even more remarkably, it secured the program's first outright Big Ten title since 1945.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I enjoy watching their head coach say that he's like, I got 3 weeks to get these guys humble again so we can go win.
And he's good at that.
Like, that's such a great way.
Such a talented motivator. First Big Ten championship to feature a matchup of the number 2 and number 1 ranked teams in the nation. Ohio State was ranked number 1.
Yeah.
Indiana was ranked number 2, which, by the way, we talked about this last week just a little bit. My favorite thing about the rankings, and I think this is going to come to an end now, is that Indiana was constantly lower than I thought they should be in the rankings.
Sure.
You'd watch them play and you go, really? Why are they ranked 15th? This makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now I go, yeah, okay, they'll get it now. I think they'll understand this was not a one-time fluke that first year. You know,
I think it'd be hysterical if this week they had just left Ohio State number 1 and Indiana number 2 and just been like, I don't know, Ohio State's still pretty good.
Ohio State's really good.
I mean, it just would have been amusing to me to just see the bias there. They did it with SC too. SC would have a dreadful season, and then they'd be like, well, this next year they're looking pretty good.
Oh, and the optimism is
like
eternal.
8th.
By the way, that's Alabama too. I mean, that's Alabama
totally.
as well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you got to start somewhere. But anyway, it's amusing. I think Indiana really deserves that number 2 spot.
The Hoosiers secured the number 1 overall seed in the college football playoffs, a historic first for the program. The win sealed a 13-0 perfect season for IU, who were the last unbeaten team in major college football.
I think that's even cooler, so they're the last unbeaten team.
Fernando Mendoza's performance that night likely secured him the Heisman Trophy, making him the first Heisman Trophy winner in IU history.
That's cool.
IU will play either Alabama or Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl January 1st in the college playoff quarterfinals.
Sure.
4 teams get a bye week. Oklahoma versus Alabama will be on ABC and ESPN December 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific. I will be tuned in to see who our next opponent will be. Fun.
Are you going to go to the Rose Bowl?
Good God, no.
Come on, you should go.
You know, the problem with the Rose Bowl for me, besides the fact that I go to an awful lot of live sports, yes,
terrible.
The seats are too narrow.
The seats are narrow. It's on wood. Parking's terrible. Everything about it is terrible.
It's just awful. Yeah. You stand up and yay, applaud and whatever. And when you go to sit down, the guys sitting next to you sit down first. Yeah. And now you have no seat. You're sitting on their hips. Yeah. It's awful.
Okay. Two things. One, start your GLP-1 now. Two,
it might be more my problem than their problem. It's true.
Like, this seat's too small, but your ass is too big. Okay. IU's having this insane season, and they're playing in your backyard. There literally is not a facility closer, well, save maybe one, to you that they could play in. Just go watch the game.
I have an excuse to go to Indiana and watch games. I've watched games in Indiana.
Great.
And it's been really... Memorial Stadium is actually an amazing stadium. It's really nice.
I don't even know if I'm going to be home on January 1st, but if I am, I'm going to drag you there. And anybody else in your house that wants to go. How can you not go? It's IU playing.
Get some good seats then. I don't want to sit far away.
I'm gonna find the narrowest seat. I'm gonna find the seat that says compact on it. That's the one I'm gonna get. The one that they're just gonna be like, there's no, you gotta sit sideways. It's gonna be like a double middle seat. I don't even know how that works. No armrests. And then I'm gonna book 2 linebackers to sit on either side of you.
Let's get to our headlines.
Probably should.
I don't want to do what we did last week and have a 45-minute show.
Too late.
Twitter fined $140 million by EU regulators. Elon Musk's social media company X, formerly Twitter, was fined 120 million euros by EU regulators on Friday for multiple breaches of the landmark Digital Services Act. This is the first sanction under the new legislation. The European Commission, the EU's executive arm, cited several violations, including the deceptive design of the blue checkmark, a lack of transparency in its advertising repository, and a failure to provide researchers access to public data. The fine followed a 2-year investigation aimed at tackling illegal and harmful content online.
Yeah, this was interesting.
Yes.
So, first of all, it is fascinating to me that the EU seems to be doing, I'd call it a pretty good job, trying to protect consumers online. I'm not saying they couldn't do better.
They took their sweet time coming around to this.
Yeah, I can't comment on that. I mean, I think these things are hard to get to the bottom of.
I'm not complaining. I'm happy they finally did something.
Sure. But you'd like to see it get there a little faster.
Because the U.S. does nothing.
Yeah, we do nothing. We do the opposite. We're just like, yeah, sure, whatever. It all flies.
It's embarrassing.
But I also love how there's this general view that like, oh, the EU is targeting American companies. It's like, well, okay, two things.
Well, no, the tech companies are American.
You could also just not provide service there. It's not like you have to provide. There's no requirement that you provide service in Europe. And yes, they do have different rules. Like, yeah, that's how it works. Like, you can't be like, oh, they charge VAT. We're going to just not pay it because we're American companies. Stop targeting American. Like, no, that's how it works. If you want to do business there, that's how it works.
They have firewalls.
But like, these are things that seem pretty, I want to say obvious. Like this seems like just deception. Like a lot of and we knew this. We
what
called
Twitter
this
was
2-3 years
yes.
ago. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, this will be fascinating to see. I don't know if they have the ability to appeal it there or what sort of recourse they may have.
They will be appealing it for sure. TikTok was also going to face some consequences and they changed their ways.
Yeah. Do you know what specifically they changed?
They limited the number of people who can do the floss dance.
Isn't the check mark just like having the Maybach badge on your Mercedes? It just means you've got money, right? There's no the check mark means nothing else. There's nothing to it other than the fact that you've put a credit card in and pay N dollars a month.
Except
right?
I think they were giving blue check marks for people who hadn't paid for them. So people could pay for them, and then some people who didn't want a blue check mark, who didn't pay for it, they gave blue check marks to.
You just ask nicely? How does that work?
Yeah, it wasn't they asked, they didn't want the blue check mark. They didn't want to be associated with the whole thing.
But it used to mean that the account was verified.
Yeah.
And now it just means that the account has a blue check mark. Like, it doesn't mean anything more than that.
You know what I did?
You went to Mastodon?
Deleted Twitter.
Long
ago.
Deleted off the internet?
I wish.
Because that's way more interesting. Where have you been?
Do you remember like Windows 2000, something like
Everything's running on a cached copy.
Their browser, was an icon on the desktop by
called
default.
Internet?
It was called Internet, exactly.
Yeah,
and if you drug it to the trash, it would say, "Are you sure you want to delete Internet?"
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah.
Man, how prophetic were you back then? Just dragging it over.
I had no idea I had that power. Thank you, Microsoft.
The part that I find even more amusing about this is, first of all, of course, Elon jumps on Twitter and says, this is bullshit. Just says bullshit.
Sure.
So very, very articulate post. And then they very quickly thereafter cut off the European Commission's ad account.
Right.
Which I thought was fantastic. They were just like...
Which the European Union had not used in years.
No, they're like, It's not retaliatory at all.
No.
Just a weird coincidence that this happened 2 days later or whatever, a couple days later.
The commission had not used the ad account since 2021.
Yeah, apparently, but there was a post format that was reserved for ads that they use, and it's like, okay, sure, single violation, because it was supposed to be like there was a video, like somebody they may have posted it wrong, sure, but like easily correctable, certainly not with malintent.
Sure.
Here we go.
By the way, their fines can be as much as 6% of turnover. Revenue.
Yeah.
Those are serious fines, unless you're Twitter and you don't really have much revenue.
Yeah, what happens?
In which case, those fines are pretty much exactly. Those fines are pretty much free.
We're going to fine you 6% of your revenue, and they're like, "Oh, actually, we have to write you a check." Like, oh, joke's on you, European Union.
I'm sure the Twitter right now in their appeal is trying to say, "Can we do 6% of revenue instead?"
Yeah. If we do this again, is it another 6%? This feels like free money.
Because that's going to be a lot cheaper than this number you've chosen.
I don't know a lot about the European Commission and how they work. They should just move everything over to Thread and Mastodon and just be done. They should just be like, yeah, you know what? Thanks, we're leaving.
Do you think they don't have a Thread account or a Mastodon account?
I hope so. I don't know. I don't speak European.
Doesn't everybody who's doing any sort of social media influence now post on everything?
It is incredible. I'd say about once a week, I get some alert on Thread. Hey, this person that you know on Instagram is now on Thread. I'm like, where have you been? Like, where have you been for the last 2 years?
As a consumer, I can be on any one of these services, and it seems like I can now see pretty much everything I want to see on any one service, because all of the, at least the smarter influence, I can't imagine there's like an influencer still going, I'm just posting on X. I'm just putting my posts on X because
there's still a big chunk of the audience there. My problem with Mastodon,
I know, but why would you do that? Now you post on everywhere. I mean, if you're actually trying to get mileage out of your posts, you post everywhere.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm with you.
More troubling changes come to the FDA. On Friday, Vinay Prasad, the Food and Drug Administration's chief medical and scientific officer and its top vaccine regulator, emailed a stunning memo to staff that quickly leaked to the press. Without evidence, Prasad claimed COVID-19 vaccines have killed 10 children in the U.S., and as such, he announced unilateral sweeping changes to the way the agency regulates and approves vaccines, including seasonal flu shots. On Wednesday evening, a dozen former FDA commissioners who collectively oversaw the agency for more than 35 years responded to the memo with a scathing rebuke. Uniting to publish their response in the New England Journal of Medicine, the former commissioners said they were deeply concerned by Prasad's memo, which they framed as a threat to the FDA's work and a danger to Americans' health.
Which is what you want. You want the FDA really putting Americans' health at risk.
That's their goal now, isn't it?
This is kind of nuts. I mean,
no, nuts is not the right word. This is kind of terrifying.
It truly is terrifying. I try not to be alarmist, but
this will literally affect how fast vaccines can come out. Well, it was one thing when they were changing their little recommendations for vaccines. Fine, California, Oregon, and Washington all created a new vaccine recommendation group, so that's fine. We could get past that. This, because you're changing the way vaccines have to be vetted, you're literally requiring all sorts of tests and things that weren't required before.
Well, you can't do it in time.
You can't do it quickly enough.
I mean, you basically black holed them.
Yeah.
No, you basically black holed them. So now, if you were to actually get a vaccine through this process, it would be outdated. It wouldn't even be relevant.
Right.
So you've sort of black holed these things to where it's like, well, instead of banning them outright, we'll just make it so bureaucratic, so Byzantine that you can't get through it. Even more meta on this is just the willingness to say things that don't involve, what's that E word? Evidence.
Yeah.
There's no evidence. There's nothing behind this. The 10 kids that were killed, I was like, where does this number come from? It's the self-reported hotline that anybody can call.
Right.
There's absolutely zero confirmation behind it.
Previous FDAs have looked at those 10 cases and ruled that they were not COVID deaths.
Yeah, this is the world that we're in now, and this is really not good for all of us. And I'll just be curious to see who we blame, because we'll blame somebody else. It won't be this.
The FDA staff who disagree with the plans can submit your resignation letters, Passat wrote, and airing concerns or criticism is seen as unethical and illegal, according to him.
This is what he wrote in the memo. Not authoritarian at all. Not at all.
Airing concerns and criticism is what science is.
That's the whole point.
What else do you do?
But this dude's not rooted in science, so
clearly
that's not important. I mean, this is the problem. Like those, it's hard to draw the straight line between those if you don't believe in the science and the data, because there'll be plenty of people who don't get vaccinated who will be just fine.
Oh, sure.
Right? They'll get sick, but they'll live.
Right.
It's the folks that don't have that luxury. But hey, empathy's dead.
Empathy is dead.
Where's what we need? We need an empathy vaccine. Huh?
We need an empathy booster for sure.
Yeah, an empathy booster. That's what it should be. Just come and get your little empathy booster. It's right in between the fentanyl and the bacon vaccines.
Do we want to move on to the fentanyl vaccine story? Since obviously that's where we're leaning anyway. Anyway, so the FDA is FUBAR.
It's FUBAR. Yep, that is accurate. They should change it from FDA. That's what the F stands for, FUBAR.
FUBAR DA.
FUBAR done authoritatively. authoritatively, something like that.
Fentanyl vaccine is about to get its first major test. Just a tiny amount of fentanyl, the equivalent of a few grains of sand, is enough to stop a person's breathing. The synthetic opioid is tasteless, odorless, and invisible when mixed with other substances, and drug users are often unaware of its presence. It's why biotech entrepreneur Colin Gage is aiming to protect people against the drug's lethal effects. In 2023, he became the co-founder and CEO of ARMR Sciences to develop a vaccine against fentanyl. Now the company is launching a trial to test its vaccine in people for the first time. The goal? To prevent deaths from overdose. Now, that's what Narcan is also will do.
Yeah.
But this is more interesting because you take it in advance.
It's prophylactically.
Yes, prophylactically. Yeah. That's pretty amazing if it will actually work. We've had these ideas before that we were going to have opioid vaccines, and we've kind of given up on it because
it's super interesting.
Nobody was making a lot of progress, and it's a difficult problem to solve.
This is a nutso drug, just fentanyl at large. Like every time I look at it and they look at the numbers behind it, it's really nuts. It's 100 times more potent than morphine.
Yikes.
And morphine isn't exactly a casual drug.
Sure.
Like I've only had morphine, I think, once. It was after reconstructive knee surgery, and it was happy times. So I can only imagine with this, but it is nuts how little fentanyl you need to kill somebody.
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
Well, even when they use it professionally, when they're using it in anesthesia, it's like at a 50-to-1 ratio. They really are.
They dilute it down. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, sure.
It's really nuts. So, and it's kind of this in one sense, it's sort of this miracle drug because it's cheap to make. It's super addictive. It's not hard to get. Like, of course, you're cutting your.
It's a synthetic. You're not having to make it from poppies.
Guys are really working on getting their margin up in the illicit drug trade. So they're just slicing in some fentanyl. Now, Narcan, so that's
naloxone.
Naloxone. You know it normally as Narcan. That's amazing because it can reverse the effects of an overdose, right? Keeping that around is fantastic.
And yet there are police departments who are objecting to carrying Narcan in their cars, in their police cars.
Well, there's no room on their belt.
Is that it?
What's the problem? Yeah, they got all this stuff already in their belt.
They need to just stop more at the donut store. They'd have a little bit more room.
I was in line at Starbucks last week behind a LAPD officer, and I was just looking at their belt.
Oh, yeah, there's so much stuff.
And I was like, there is so much stuff on there. I was like, what is half this crap? I was like, okay, you got the handcuffs there, you got the non-lethal spray there, you got your gun there, okay, and then this and then a radio. But then I was like, there's 7 other pockets. I'm like, what else do you have? Is there like a little game of Yahtzee in there? What else do you carry with you?
How do you remember where everything is so you can grab it quickly?
And the one that's out in the small of your back, you're just not getting to. That's for somebody else to get.
Sure.
That's a game for somebody else that's behind you.
You know that real estate is ranked. What's the most important things? We're going to put them right on the sides where you can get to them quickly.
That's going to be my new open when I'm in line. So I was like, excuse me, sir, what do you keep at your tramp stamp location? What's that?
What's something you obviously don't need often?
If there's a butterfly in it, that would be the funniest thing ever. If he opens it up and there's a little butterfly. Oh, that's where I keep my tramp stamp butterfly. I am fascinated by this. I know nothing about this vaccine. I don't know if this is going to work, but it does sound pretty compelling if they can figure this out. Now, I don't know who takes it. Do I just go get it prophylactically in case I one day happen to have fentanyl in my crab legs? Is that, or is it just is it for drug users? I don't know. Is there going to be some scarlet letter of shame when you go get one of these? I have no idea. Does it have side effects? I don't know.
Oh no, there's no scarlet letter of shame. I mean, a friend of mine went on a cruise, and he was in Mexico, and he had to have a Vicodin or something like that, and he ended up not. Because he was passing a stone. You want to know the whole story?
I do now.
So he had to get some sort of, so he went and bought these things at the Mexican pharmacy that was on land, and he fortunately never had to take them. Came home and had fentanyl testing kits, because people do now, and checked it, and sure enough, they were totally fentanyl.
Wow.
So lucky him, he didn't take them.
Second, just a little PSA here. Don't take drugs from Mexico.
Yeah.
Just don't. Our FDA, kind of a mess right now. Still better than anything else out there.
Although working hard to get to be as bad as the Mexican FDA. We have goals.
I am pro fentanyl vaccine. Let me just say that.
I am too. And by the way, the trouble with fentanyl is what is bringing us this research. We started to do this in the 70s. We're going back to researching this now because of all the trouble we're having with fentanyl.
Yeah, I think we started in the 70s with a heroin vaccine. Yeah. And I think that didn't work. So they basically just abandoned most all this.
China's $1 trillion trade juggernaut. China just smashed records, hitting a staggering $1 trillion trade surplus this year. Forget a slowdown, a massive rebound in shipments turbocharged this surge, blowing past all forecasts. This historic surplus is fueled by a huge paradox. While exports rocket, trade with the U.S. is diving. Shipments to America have plummeted, and critically, Chinese imports of U.S. goods, even staples like soybeans, have fallen sharply. Now, no shock. We all saw this coming as soon as those tariffs came into existence.
Yeah, I'm not surprised here. This is what we want, though. Aren't we great now? Don't you want to be isolated?
And non-competitive? Yeah, absolutely. Please. We're going to never get those contracts for soybeans back now because there's so many other countries now who will supply China with soybeans.
Yeah.
They're going to have relationships with them and $1 trillion is the largest trade surplus accumulated by any country in human history over a 12-month period.
No, I get that. I mean, look, they make a lot of stuff. We should be working with them, not competing against them on low-skilled manufacturing. But what do I know?
There is a ton of Chinese people, and they need lots of low-skilled manufacturing jobs, and they do it incredibly cheaply. You can't do a labor-intensive project outside of Asia competitive.
No.
Still to this day.
Robots.
That's the next step. I mean, by putting up these tariffs, we have advanced robotics studies.
I'm for that. I'm for more automation. We'll see if that's what actually happened or not.
Countries like India, Japan, and Germany are now running increasingly large trade deficits with China as their own domestic industries face stiff competition from a flood of cheaper Chinese goods.
Yeah.
That's a big population, whatever that is.
1.4 billion people.
The surplus isn't just cheap consumer goods. It's heavily driven by China's new 3 high-tech exports: electric vehicles, lithium batteries, and solar panels, showcasing a major shift into advanced manufacturing. By the way, they do make the best electric cars. They make amazing electric cars now.
I haven't driven one yet. I haven't been in one.
I sent you a video.
Yeah. I want to see the
that
thing.
Marquez Brownlee did. And it's what he was saying was a $70,000 car that you were getting for $42,000. And it looked beautiful inside and out. It looked amazing.
I'm very sensitive on these car things. I don't have an allegiance to like one or the other. I have an allegiance more to the process and the thing, but I need to go drive one. I need to drive one. I probably need to own one to really have a...
You can't even bring them into the U.S. because we want to be as non-competitive with cars as possible. God forbid we measure up to what the rest of the world is doing with cars.
Well, yeah. I mean, we bailed on that a long time ago. As soon as we're like, no robots in the factories.
Okay, enough with the headlines. In fact, enough with the episode. We have to get out of here. Special thanks to our floor director, Joey Jewell.
Thanks, Joey.
We'll be back later this week with our big story on how UC Merced is harnessing the Golden State's Canal Network for clean energy. Until then, thank you for listening to all this nonsense. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Chittle.
Go Hoosiers!
He's mean.
Who's mean?
He's mean.
You mean Mr. Clean?
I mean the new Mr. Clean. He's mean.
What made him so mean?
Dirt. He hates dirt. Watch.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
No other kind of cleaner on the face of the earth cleans like new Mr. Clean. No liquid, no powder, no cleanser, no detergent, no soap, nothing.
He's mean.
New Mr. Clean, he's mean, he hates dirt.
I love him.
Now, you have to explain to me, is there a new Mr. Clean that is not the same as the Mr. Clean that came out many years ago?
There was. This appeared to be some new Mr. Clean that I didn't know about, or I didn't know about, whatever. But it was an old Mr. Clean. This is an ad.
I don't remember. I've never heard this ad in my life.
Really?
No.
Oh, I vaguely remember parts of it.
Is this when Mr. Clean first came out?
Of the closet?
I know, it sounds like that. The way I phrased that was bad. Is this... I don't have a better way to phrase it.
I'm going to be honest. No one's surprised. No one's like, oh, yeah, well, we weren't sure.
The giant, good-looking, muscular guy might be gay.
Totally. Who's like perfect features. He's got the one earring. Yeah, no, you're right.
Takes great care of his body.
Yeah, totally. Really likes everything clean. No, I'm piecing it all together. I think we all learned a lot today. Yeah.
Okay, fill me in. So is this ad, because I've not seen this ad, I'm seeing this copy for the first time now.
Yeah.
From when they first launched Mr. Clean, or is this from some new iteration of Mr. Clean? Did they change the formula or something?
This is not current. This is from the past.
I understand that. But the new Mr. Clean, did that come out 10 years after the original Mr. Clean came out? Did they find out the original Mr. Clean caused cancer?
There was an original Mr. Clean. Let me try to set the table here a little bit.
Okay.
The original Mr. Clean made his first television debut in 1958.
Okay.
So I will tell you that this is not older than 1958.
So this is not that. This is not when it first...
This was not that.
This was not when Mr. Clean came out as a ship cleaning solution. I mean, that's where Mr. Clean comes from. It was from cleaning naval ships. That's solution.
I also find it fascinating that Mr. Clean, when translated into other languages, was not Mr. Clean. He came out with all sorts of other, like, for example, in the Netherlands, he was called Mr. Proper. which I find
how nice. How lovely.
Yeah. But your task at hand is to tell me roughly when you think the new Mr. Clean came out. And again, this was no earlier than 1958 and no later than 2025. I just want to give you the range.
I am completely unaware of the fact that there was ever a change to Mr. Clean.
Well, it was an advertisement. So, there wasn't a whole lot of truth in advertising. Let me remind you of the game shows.
What was different about him?
I'm sure it tasted different. I don't know.
Was he no longer muscular and now he was a scrawny guy? How did they change Mr. Clean?
Got on GLP-1s. He thinned right down. He was just kind of scrawny. He looked a little unhealthy.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just telling you they had a new Mr. Clean.
I know nothing about this. I will say 1980 because I have no idea. I'm just going to pick a date between, the start and the end. So somewhere around maybe 1980.
1980 is a very good guess.
Yeah.
It is very, very wrong.
I'm sure.
This ad, and this is what kind of surprised me, was from 1965.
Okay. So they changed it roughly 10 years after they launched it.
I mean, allegedly. I don't know if they actually changed it.
They took the cocaine out.
They took, that's exactly what they did. They were like, as it turns out, it cleans just fine without the cocaine, and it's a lot cheaper.
Well, you clean a little slower.
They didn't take the heroin out until the 80s, but the cocaine came out in the early 60s.
Okay, so new Mr. Clean, 1965.
Procter & Gamble released a new formula for Mr. Clean's original liquid cleaner line.
Okay, so it has a new formula.
That was noted for being highly effective at wiping out dirt and grime on the spot, surpassing other available products at the time.
So they were just making themselves more competitive. They put something a little harsher, something a little stronger, something a little...
It appears that they did change the formulation in or around 1965. So that sounds mildly compelling.
Less so than you'd think.
Let's stress the word mildly, shall we?
And I think we should go out listening to the original Mr. Clean ad from 1958.
Meet Mr. Clean, Procter & Gamble's new all-purpose liquid cleaner.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall, tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright and clearer.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.